Sure. I feel like with you and Tim Storm, that felt real just because of the promos. It was almost like Flair Dusty back in the day where you felt it was real, like, oh, this rich guy is telling this working man guy, that, this and that, and they're going back and forth, and he's the working man guy is telling the rich guy how it is. It kind of felt like that with you and Storm. And I talked to Tim Storm about this. You guys were the best promos in the business at that point.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, look, because we don't do promos, we do interviews.
Right. Good point.
Right? Like it's well, first of all, look, and again, this is not a shot at WWE or anyone else,
Right.
but we're not scripted. It's not, there isn't someone, the story isn't playing out based on how someone else sees it. It's playing out based on how I see it. Like, and I'm basing it, and it's playing out, and I see it based on what's real. Like, that's how we got the whole thing over with Tim in the first place, was with the 10 pounds of gold series. It's like, hey, most of you haven't heard of Tim Storm because he's not very well known. He's a school teacher, actually. But hey, if you sit down with him for 10 minutes and listen to him speak, you realize that this guy's, he's authentic and he's rugged and he's believable and goddamn, he's likable. And then you have this other guy, and it's like, yeah, we've seen him around, but he's been up and he's been down and he's in the middle, and he had a big push, and he was a young prodigy, and now he's like hitting his peak, and you're not really sure what he's going to do. Those things are interesting, and they're already interesting enough. We don't need to create all this other stuff around it. It's like, there's the contrast right there. Like, I've been full-time in the wrestling business my entire adult life. Tim, all he ever really wanted was to, be able to make a living as a wrestler. But he always had to be, but it had to be a side hustle for him. So there's the contrast. I'm not saying, oh, I'm a millionaire, and it's like, no, we ain't trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I make a nice living from wrestling, but it's, but I'm not Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, that's the difference between suspension of disbelief and bullshit, and just lazy, like, fantastical kind of nonsense, like, that's to me is what the element, and especially the NWA, that's what the NWA is supposed to be. It's that, like, well, I know some of that other stuff is a little bit, may not be on the up and up, but I tell you what, that Magnum TA, he'd whip your ass, like, or that, or let me tell you something, that, that Tully Blanchard, or whoever, right? Like that, Ronnie Garvin, or, all these guys, that was like the whole deal, was kind of like, yeah, they're a bit flashy and they're a bit, but they ain't silly. They're real men, athletic,